Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Stellaris Newbie tutorial series for version 2.72 of the game. I am your host, Colors Fade. This is episode 32, and what should be the final episode. It's the year 2486. The game ends at the year 2500, 14 years from now. I'm going to back up. We just finished off the Fallen Empire. This is what the map looks like. Finished off the Fallen Empire up here, so now we have this. All this stuff up here. We're just building planets now. We shouldn't have to do anything else the rest of the way to get the victory screen popping. If all you want to see is the victory screen, you can scroll towards the end of the episode. Concluded. I will, as always, try to continue to provide little nuggets as we go along. I have lots of work to do here with all my planets and habitats. You can see we have a lot of unemployment going on. And we have unemployment from people who are just basic workers. So when you have that, that means you really need to provide some jobs, and that usually is a product of our ring worlds not providing jobs. So here's an example of a ring world that could provide a bunch of jobs. And since consumer goods are the thing we're low on right here at the end of the game, we're going to upgrade all those buildings first.
Phase complete.
And we got some colonies starting. These are, these are the worlds that we terraformed from nanite worlds to continental worlds over in the Elgate cluster. So as always, from the very beginning of the game, you want to put colony as the designation. This designation is unavailable once you reach 5 pops. It helps with pop growth speed and happiness on new planets. This makes a lot of sense to make this a food planet, so we'll make a bunch of jobs there. And then provide some housing on that one. On this one over here, same sort of thing. Colony designation. Do all the food. I love this particular track. Which one is this? Deep Space Travels. This is one of my favorite tracks in the game. It's great. There's some good music in the game. A little bit of an opinion here, but unfortunately the Federation's music is just awful, and it's the default startup music now once you have Federation installed. I kind of hope Necroids changes that. I've got a bunch of these unchecked because quite frankly they're not up to the standards of some of the rest of the music in this game. Some of the music in this game is just wonderful, and some of it is pretty darn not good. So it's weird how hit or miss the music is in this, and of course it's going to be different for everybody, but I thought it was funny right after Federations came out how there were a number of people saying the same thing who all agreed the Federation's music was bad. You can see we're quite a bit over on Starbase capacity, and it's not like we don't have the money for it, but again, as a practice, I like to make sure that I am always managing these correctly. And one way to do that, well, let's take a look at the rest of our wing worlds. We're building a bunch of stuff here. This world has a little bit of housing, and we're going to upgrade that because they are short of some housing there. So let's take a look. See, there's a couple of people with jobs there. These jobs are coming, folks. They're coming, I promise you. In fact, let's do this. Let's build that house, that city. So the Shashamar system, and then there should be a frontier system because I don't think we made sectors for the newly acquired stuff. Yep, right here. So you can go here and you can see where it is. Let's take a look. Turn sector map mode on so we can see this. So what makes sense here to get these 4 together would be Tatanga or Avior would help collect these. So I'm going to go to Avior. And I'm going to say new sector, and I'm going to give them a person to manage it. Leader experience gain probably is the best thing there. Drop back, you can see all of those in it. Then there's these 2 in frontier sectors, these guys up here. We have a sector over here, but we don't have one for Debux.
Research concluded.
Terminal egress should 1, 2. Terminal egress is the sector. It should be able to get everything else. So let's change the sector here. Yeah, move the sector capital to there. And if we do that, that should get everybody, and it did. You can see it picked up debugs because it'll go up to 4 slots away, 4 systems away. So it does that, and the only sector we have then left is Nordak, who just has to be over here by himself. He's just out of luck, so we'll give him a sector all by himself. And we'll change him to a generator world. We don't need all of these things here. Food from jobs and energy and mineral credits. Well, heck yeah. Okay, so let's go to Nordak and change all of this. The things we really need are consumer goods. We have tech that's waiting on us, because of course it is. Energy weapon attack speed. So back to Nordak. Let's change this. One thing I'm going to do is start speeding things up, so that we can get to the end game faster. This thing, what's this thing overdue? Yeah, it produces a bunch of those. We don't need it. We don't need alloys. We're not struggling for them. What we need are jobs. And we need the right kind of jobs. Oh, I don't want to do that. I want to demolish that. Yep. And then we can put more consumer goods. Let's take this and replace it with generator districts. Okay. Tavaldra, same thing. We're gonna have lots of consumer goods created for people, and it just generates a lot of jobs too, which is great. And this is a full admin bureaucracy world, which is not important now. We're as big as we're gonna get, and we're still 600 away, which is great. It's a little bit of a struggle in the beginning of the game, but once you get where we're at, things work out pretty well. And what I was really pleased with was, as the game went on, we did a good job of staying under it, which is what you want to do, I thought. And most importantly, we did a really good job of preparing for when we vassalized our neighbors. So, and the Oban Commerce Exchange, we may be able to integrate them. Let's see how soon we can integrate them. They're our vassals. They love us. We can integrate them, so we're going to do it. That'll happen before it's over. We can look and see, and it'll say 178 months. So 178. It might not get done then before the game is up. Let's see, 178. I can't do that math real quick. 178. It's going to be 14 years exactly. Oh, we're just going to miss the window. The game is going to end right before that happens. So, my bad. It doesn't... I always thought it took 10 years to integrate people. It doesn't. You have to wait 10 years, and then the amount of time it takes after that is dependent on other factors. So, yeah, we're not going to get that out before then, but that's still okay. Max gas extraction wells. We'll turn those on. So we'll just make planets. There's a whole bunch of these going on. Let's see, what do they have? They have multiple jobs ready. Not a lot of people, actually, so that's what we need to do. What are we doing? Secondary resources were a burden early, but
Initial colonization phase complete.
I'm a real strong believer of my old rule. Okay, what is this? This is Celestial Throne. That's right, because we nuked it. So we're going to demolish all this stuff. We nuked Celestial Throne with our Colossus, and it caused all the people to die. And so when you cause all the people to die like that, it was a full planet full of folk on it. And so when you do that, when you kill populations, or whenever a planet loses pops, for instance, when you're purging a species after you've taken over their worlds, then the building slots go away, because look, they only have 8 pops. Well, with 8 pops you can't have 75 slots. In fact, you can't even have the next one. So yeah, you can't even have the second slot open. So you have to go in here and destroy these buildings, or you have to repair them. Now hit this one here, we'll be able to repair if we wanted to. We could repair these. It's a fortress. I'm going to cancel that. Oh, and I have to repair it, don't I? It says I have to. It says I can't destroy it. So we're going to repair these. because there are enough people for these slots to be active, but they're demolished because I think to some degree there were also people bombarding it who weren't us. So
Research concluded.
So we'll do that. Research concluded. Keep just doing all of this stuff. Edict duration, leader lifespans. It doesn't matter now at this point in the game. We're 13 years away from winning. So I just want to roll through it. But I'm one of those weird... I seem to be, minority. I'm one of those weird people who really likes to see the victory screen pop, and I like to play to completion. And you'll find, I think probably the vast majority of Stellaris players actually don't do that. They play until they know victory is assured, which is the stage we're at right now, and then they go start a new game. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I have that twitch where it's like, no, I have to see the end of the game. I have to see it. I love victory screens. Alright, you guys. Why don't you do... And I could keep putting strongholds on there and just boosting this fleet number up too. It'd get gargantuan. Gargantuan. Let's see, we're doing good for food, but I'm probably going to plug that a few more times. The research is just, everything is so fast now. Look, 5 months, 6 months, 6 months. 35k research at the end here, which is pretty darn solid. I think have to consider that somewhat of a success. The way things have gone here. Let's make this a food planet because it doesn't have a designation. Holden is, wow, it's got lots of people to upgrade here. Let's get her done. And this will provide so many jobs. Let's start getting all of our unemployed pops working. But yeah, I'm probably going to reiterate this a few more times even before the end of the game. Take the last 3 slots on your planet and put 1 each refinery on it. And if you did that for every single planet, you'll never have a problem with refineries. And then you can take the excess and do things like I've been doing, which is make trades with empires to get favors. And you can use those favors to help handle some of this stuff. Does it repeal pan-galactic recycling initiatives? No. No, and I am the Senate. I wish the Senate was a little deeper. I wish there was a little more to it than what the game provides, but at the same time, you know, this is that sort of gameplay there with the Senate and the bureaucracy and all this stuff. This is something people have been clamoring for a long time. Not me. I was happy without it. I'm actually more impressed by what you can do with the Federation than I am with the Senate itself. Greater than ourselves really is one of the only things I think is worth doing. It's one of the only reasons to get involved with the Senate is so that you can get greater than ourselves and make sure that happens. This to me is far more interesting. And especially, like, I like this science launch. You can see up here some of the bonuses. Federal Research Agreement. Ready your checkbooks. We're ready to spend money for the next leadership position. Research mobilization during ongoing endgame crisis. Gain 20% research speed. Available envoys +1. Diplomatic weight from tech +20. There are different kinds of federations, and I'm not exactly sure. I think maybe if you're the one instigating the formation of it, you can decide what kind of federation you want it to be. But here we were invited by somebody else, and one of the only ones that I even consider joining is the research cooperative because I like the bonuses. Research is, as always, kind of king, so I feel like that's very important. We're going to keep placing bids because we have all the money in the world. Place a bid at 10,000. Yeah, baby. What's this
Research concluded.
time thing? We got research. Place a bid. Oh, what's this one? Place a bid. That keeps popping up, and it could potentially be dangerous. I could press the wrong thing here. I'm going to place a bid, and then I'm going to go up here. Wow, it's going really fast. I'm going to sell a certain amount of these. Make sure they're all trying to get... They don't want me in charge. We can't have the nomads in charge. They get us in wars with fallen empires. That's a lot of money in the pot. And they're like, he's going to abscond with it. None of us are going to get it. Yeah, remain in the challenge. It's a lot of money. Everybody has a lot of money. Wow. That's a hoard of cash. We can keep doing this all day. The golden rule challenge has come to an end, and the nomads win. To the victor goes the spoil. Invest it. Booming business modifier. Distribute it. It's what? Only 5,000 for each Federation member? Or I'm going to invest it this time. That's funny. Yeah. The golden rule. Let's do this. Let's make as many mining districts as we can. Oh look. Holy world. It's a holy world. Oh, what was that? Harvesting traps? Oh, heck yeah. How many on this world can I have? One? Oh, sweet. So, cranking out these worlds, trying to get... And habitats, trying to get jobs for our peoples.
Research concluded.
I almost wish you could have a template for the end-game research and just tell it, do these researches in this order and keep them within 5,000 points of each other. That way I wouldn't have to touch it once we get into the repeatables. And I can pause it when I want to. Look at so many people. Our empire is huge. Let's see, how big is our empire? I haven't looked at this in a while. So total empire sprawl. We have 8,730 pops. There was just a thread today on a Facebook page that I follow for Stellaris talking about someone had posted 8,000 pops and was talking, I think, about how the game is not laggy for them, and then a bunch of people cried about it being laggy, and then all the Dunning-Kruger people showed up saying how ridiculous things like they should open source the Stellaris engine so we can help them parallelize it. Myself, being a software developer, had to snicker at that. Of course. Quite funny. Quite amusing.
Research concluded.
People don't know what they don't know. Oh, look. So we get all of our worlds here repaired. Oh, alien megastructure, the Glostorhini, taking the challenge of building a science nexus. Good for them. We're doing pretty well without a science nexus. We have a lot of science, which I like. Governor gained the trait. And what are we doing with this world? Oh, mining. Okay. Mining. Minerals. Oh, there are remote harvesting traps. We can put 2 of them on this world. Oh. Well, we'll have to do that. Here's a colony. take their blockers off them. This is amazing that we still have unemployed pops here, and there's still lower level pops. Gotta keep building things here. Gotta keep upgrading things. It's quite the amazing. Oh, and ministry production. There you go. That planet's on its way to being awesome. Let's see. Let's put mineral production plants, or do we have energy grid on this planet? Here's a ring world with all of its fancy research stuff on here. Pirates in the Baldirk system. Oh, let's find that. Baldirk. It's right there. Oh yeah. We why don't we have that yet? Why isn't that ours yet? Let's go. Let's go put a construction ship over there, maybe. Why can't we go there? Oh, because I see. Let's move you to here. Go there, construct your ship. And then let's grab one of our fleets. Pirates, I say. This fourth fleet that's really small. You're perfect. Go fight these pirates. We'll colonize that system. Nobody's doing anything with it. Wow, look at that. Oh, and what is this thing up here? There's no project to research there. What is the blinky for? Nomad station. Oh, is this just still from this thing? Timed project for this cloud. This seems like a bug to me. I guess we can just stop tracking a cloud snag. This project is part of a wider scientific thing, and it's still on the board, and it says it's done. So why is it still in the situation log? I don't know. I don't know. I know I'm over on Starbases, so what we should do is go take a look at him. Hauer is a... Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave these Starbases. Most of these are fine where they're at, and they're collecting trade and things of that nature. Concluded. So the best thing to do is try to get more Starbases, actually. It's building cost? Sure, I'll take some of that. One of these is Starbases. Defensive platforms, strike damage, planetary build speed. I'm just going to take some things I haven't taken before. Get some of that research. Let's see. Holden Station. Where is that? That's over there in Holden. I don't need that one. Downgrade that one. That's fine. What about some of these others? This one. Where is that? Nordak. Okay, here's what I want to do. You should be Deep Space Black Site, for one thing. Let's make it an actual shipyard just for the heck of it. So they have one over here. Mega Art Installation. Yep, Fleet Academy. What's the command center do? Ship fire rate.
Research
Change it to Naval Logistics Office. Change these to shipyards. The research just gets done so fast. It's so awesome. It gets done so absolutely fast. Planetary build speed. I don't really need that. Why am I taking that? It's not like we're going to be building a lot of new worlds here. But let's go over here. You can see from the trade situation. Yeah, we need to get a gateway over here, don't we?
Striking hostile station.
Perfect. Pirate station rated. Let's get this construction ship that's not doing anything, and let's have it build a gateway like right about there. Oh, get this off. Trade. Go here. Build gateway. And then we'll get all of those systems kind of collecting trade. Let's see what our trade actually looks like here. An odd factory. 18,000 is our trade. So, if you're ever curious about, is trade a good thing? The answer is yes. The answer is definitively yes. Oh, somebody else raided those pirates because our guys are still on the way over there and they got destroyed. What's this? Spaceborne Organics. Why don't you do this then? Go take them out.
Research concluded.
Planetary build speed. I think Starbases is in this section. It's in Society Research. So I gotta get it there. Is there no dock in that system where you guys are at? Well, there's not, is there? Well, that's why. So you can see right there, these ships are yellow because they're in the system, but there's no docking bay, there's no crew quarters. So their maintenance cost, I believe, is higher. Even though you can't see it from that screen. Let's see, is there a screen we can take a look at it from? Naval capacity. That's not really.
Research concluded.
I'm not sure. What's it say? Produced, consumed ships 2718. Remember that number, 2718. Because what we're going to try to do is see what happens when this thing gets built. We're going to see if it knocks this number down when all these guys park themselves. We're going to see if that 2718 goes down.
Initializing hostile engagement protocols.
And then that'll tell us something. Here's that. Battle of Space Amoeba Mother. Lost. My ships were like... I've got 7 battleships there. Oh, jeez. That's funny. So yeah, this will take 113 days. Not worried about those right now. Nordak says, hey, I've got room for lots of things over here. What would you like me to put on this planet? Well, when you've got that many of those things, a Ministry of Production, you definitely don't need that dome. So let's move that away. Where? Galactic Stock Exchange. This is a chunk of change that we're generating every month. It's pretty outstanding.
Research concluded.
Pretty outstanding. Leader lifespan. 5 years. Okay, what are we doing here? I guess we can't have any more bonus star bases because it's not showing up. No matter what I choose here. So that's alright. I'll just keep doing all the other stuff then. Let's go back to our ships up here. This is what? 39 days. We're at the year 2490. I might have to move this to the fastest speed so we can get to the end game in an hour. I think I'll do that. We'll crank it up. We'll try to get there a little faster. And I won't use pause. There's no reason to pause anything now. And like I was saying several long episodes ago, eventually these all get maxed out, and moving credits around and trying to store extra in like secondary resources or refinery resources becomes kind of pointless. So, okay, so let's go look at our ships. Remember, 2718 was the number, and now what is it for ships? 2720. It actually went up even though they all docked. Okay. I'm wrong about that then. I don't know. It just changes the color from green to yellow then, and yellow to green. I wish I knew. Wish I understood more about that. Oh gosh, maybe when these guys get docked it'll change, but that's kind of silly in my opinion. I thought there was a maintenance cost associated with these guys not being docked. But it clearly went up.
Research.
Oh no, it was 2718, wasn't it? No, and now it's 2149. Okay, so it did go down, and in fact it went down by 500 or 600. So that is significant. Okay, my brain was correct. Yes, docking those ships has more than a cosmetic effect. It causes the maintenance fees to go down. So that's why you want your ships docked somewhere. That's why you want to put this little thing right here, crew quarters, on star bases in certain systems where you know your ships are going to be in this case we put it here because there's a wormhole and we built a gateway there, so it's the ideal place. It's the ideal jumping off point. Our ring worlds over here are getting formed, so we're going to do this, and I'm going to call this
another scientific breakthrough.
I'm going to call this ring W. We're going to go W, X, Y, Z in that system. Don't need it over here. Let's. Oh, these are Habs? Oh, there it says ring world. Oh, okay. All right. Let's do. How many ring CCs? What are the ring worlds in here? Let's go look. Ring section B. This is habitable section A. Ring B. Ring C. Okay. I'm just 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go 4 A's there. They're all in the same space, so let's upgrade that one and upgrade that one. Get those things colonized. That'll make a difference. We still have worlds up here we can colonize, in fact. So, more continental worlds that we created when we took the nanite worlds over here. I didn't realize there were this many worlds up here, and I've asked the question in other forums before, why are people so excited about the L gates? And the answer is invariably, oh, well, you know, it's a cool place to move. It's like having an extra gate, and there's nanites, and I'm like, really? That's why you're so excited about it? The Oberlin Commerce League. Hey, so we're gonna have to do a robot uprising. But I like that. There are all these worlds here. That is a big deal. So we're automatically embroiled in this war because this is our vassal. So we're gonna go take part in that. We're at Oberlin Commerce Exchange. It's over here. We'll go put this down quickly.
Research concluded.
We got lots of research concluded. Lots and lots and lots of research concluded. So another faction has been founded, and that is Crazy Town. Let's move these guys over here. Let's see, where can we go? We never did get a... Oh, look, and they're not connected through there. So let's move you over there, too. And let's move... Oh, what the heck. Jugs, you're going to be slow to get there, but let's move you. We'll get everybody over here. In fact, second fleet, if you want to go in here, kind of crush those guys that way, that'd be great. Get them from both angles. Could breed a Praetorian fleet. Let's find out where that happens. We're going to spend this. A new brood. Alright, where did they show up? Their loyal brood. Let's go find out where they landed. They landed right there. Can we give them a leader? They're at Nomad. Oh, we actually have an available leader. They're 40k. 40k. Heck yeah. We're going to send them over here to take care of the spaceborne organics. These guys. Just about to head over here. I want you to build a mining station there, buddy. Oh, it is Baldurks. We own this. Okay. We just never actually colonized this planet. Sometimes with the color scheme, it makes me say, what's going on here?
Initial colonization phase.
Baldirk Prime. Okay. So these guys are going to come up here. Oh, look. Our neighbors are just flooding in there. Like, hey, we're not going to let this happen. You guys picked on the wrong person. Robot uprising. I got all your robot uprisings.
Initial colonization phase commencing.
We're going to grab our armies, one of them. And let's see. Transport fleet 14. This is Irobot Sentience. These guys are going to handle it. They're going to send some people. They got some people right there. They got a bunch of folks there. This becomes Nomad hegemony because we grabbed it. They'll probably get given back to the Obedans.
Initial colonization phase commencing.
What edict came off? Scientific
Initial
revolution.
colonization phase commencing. Initial colonization phase commencing.
Well, colony gained. Oh, so we did get
Research
it. Wow.
concluded.
And they're done. And they're destroyed. Are they over yet? I see the war thing still in the bottom right hand corner, so I'm gonna say it's not over yet. What's going on here? Machine Uprising. The Irabot Sentients. Where else are they? Anywhere else? Gateway construction site ready in the Diadem system.
Initial colonization
End of the
phase
Irabots.
commencing.
They're over. That didn't last long. Let's go to Diadem.
Construction project concluded.
Diadem system and say yes. Grab this gateway. Okay. Oops. Close that. So I can get out of my map here. So yeah, we're at 9,000 pops, and things are.
Research concluded.
There's a little bit of lag now, but again, it's not intolerable or anything. So we picked up this planet down here in this system. There's a habitat. And then, is there a planet here? I gotta look. I gotta scroll up.
Research concluded.
Nope, there's not. It's just this habitat. So if we colonize this with these guys, the Tagillion have a, because that's my naming scheme. Naming schemes help a lot. I think they really help in games like this, and you should find one that's comfortable for you and adopt it. So, gentlemen, your job here with the robot uprising is done, and you can go home. And in fact, the Juggernaut was moving over in that direction, and it doesn't have to now. It can move back to Cowrie, where our mega shipyard is. Over here, Ring World, habitable section B. Colonize this. And we'll call it Ring BBBB. BBBBBBBB. Binary soul 00000001. Yep. Oh, and there's some Zero up there. Well,
Research concluded.
heck yeah, let's send a construction ship up there to grab that just for no other reason than because we can. Because we're killing time here. We're killing time with research lasting like 5 seconds. This is fantastic. Our research is 35k and it's just domination. Everything is taking what? How long is this? 3 months? 3 months? Yeah. And then how are we doing with Obadin? They're 99 months. So that's how long they have left to go to be integrated. So let's run through our worlds and see what we can do here to improve the quality of life. Ministry of Production, we're doing very good. We're now 1k in consumer goods. That's something I would have thought I'd never see is a number that big for consumer goods. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. I like it though.
Research concluded.
It rocks. I mean, this is just happening so fast. It's amazing. So. This is another piece of music in this list of Stellaris stuff that I really like. One thing I often do, though, is turn off the Stellaris music when I'm not recording it for YouTube, obviously. Because this is safe for YouTube, so this is why you do it. Oh, they've got a research world here. We might just roll with that. But I like to... I have a playlist on iTunes that I like to use for this game. It's quite good. and it has
Research concluded.
has a healthy dose of the soundtracks from things like Stellaris. I mean, not Stellaris. I mean Interstellar, and the Solaris, Steven
Initial
Soderbergh's film.
colonization phase
Clint
commencing.
Mansell. No, not Clint Mansell. Cliff Martinez did that soundtrack. Clint Mansell did the one for The Fountain, which is also an unbelievably brilliant soundtrack. Cliff Martinez and Clint Mansell both
Research
did just
concluded.
incredibly creative things.
Initial colonization phase commencing.
And I love their work. So, and they fit this particular game really, really well. So if you're looking for something different than what the Stellaris soundtrack offers, definitely look those two things up. Also, there's a couple of pretty cool pieces from the movie Inception and from the movie Oblivion. That was a Tom Cruise movie that had kind of a neat idea. It's not the best film and it's not the best executed film, but it's got a neat idea. And I will always give credit to neat ideas. I like neat ideas. The most creative of the Tom Cruise movies, I think, lately
Initial colonization phase commencing.
was Edge of Tomorrow. I can still watch that movie over and over and over. That, even though it is about the same thing over and over and over, it's just a really creative film. Really like the way that they did that.
Research concluded.
So we're winding down. We're at the year 292.09. It's September. It's about to be 293. I like having this on the fastest speed we can roll through this pretty quickly. How are our refinery resources doing? Oh, we're getting low on rare crystals. Of course we are. Because the game is not entirely balanced when it comes to the rare crystals. Oh, there's some... You guys need some more housing. Well, let's replace this right there with some luxury residences. That's something you can always do. Things that when you're reaching this stage of the game and it's this late in it and you don't need the growth anymore, you can put luxury residences on the robot spots and on your clone vats and say, yep, I need rising unemployment on NAF Oblal. This is the problem, is I don't know what NAF Oblal is, so now we gotta go find it. It's gonna be one of these new planets.
Another
probably.
day, another scientific breakthrough.
Yes, scientific breakthrough. Where is NAF Oblal? Right there.
Construction project concluded.
What system is this in? I don't want to pause anything, so what I'm going to say is, what system is this in? This is in... Back this up. Tegalian. Okay, so NAF Oblal is in the Tegalian system. We're going to rename you.
Research concluded.
This is the one I couldn't find. I could only see the habitat in this system. Because sometimes the view, and then, like, there's a lot of ships here and everything. The view in the game often blocks what you need to see. That's one of the things that I would say is a detriment to the way that they built their screens sometimes, is that you can't see the things you actually need to see. They put a bunch of research on this planet, so I'm just going to leave it. And then I'm going to expand on it. So we're going to give them the Research Institute. And a few more city districts. This is a dumb choice here. The mineral purification hub on a planet that doesn't really need it. So yeah, we got
Another day, another scientific breakthrough.
plenty of research to keep doing. We don't have to do this. We could just say, we could just let them sit and do nothing. It's not going to help us get to the end game faster. I mean, to the victory screen any faster, but... Actually, let's change that, since, well, let's not be lazy. Let's change it from that to crystal planets. because those are the things we're short on. Let's not be super lazy, even though we're getting close to the end of the game. This is a ring world, ring W. I need a new table desperately. I need a new table desperate. Oh my goodness, come on, mouse. What's going on with your laser here?
Initial colonization phase.
Research ring world. That'll put a bunch of people to work. What is this? This is also... Oh, no, this is Dora and our tour. So we'll make it a mining world. Because it's got an equal number, basically, of minerals and food. Take the blockers off of it. I think Paradox has done a good job with this game as far as
colonization phase complete.
The progress through the game. It always feels like there's something to do, some next thing to reach for. Something you should be focusing on next, and I like that a lot. I'm just going to do these worlds really quick before they fall off.
Colonization phase complete.
Top of that. This is a habitat. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I definitely didn't want to do the trade thing. Let's go trade station. So I think we've generated a lot of stuff, and now our pops are 9306. That's a lot of pops. Let me tell you, lots of pops. So we have everything there except let's just use the last 6 slots on crystal plants. Let's replace that with luxury housing. If I was still doing a whole bunch of war, I would likely be putting a lot more fortresses on here and continuing to bump this naval capacity number up into the 3000s and building more fleets. But since it's not necessary, and since everybody that's left in the galaxy is in our Federation, and this is us, we are the blue spot, so it looks
another day,
pretty good for us. Then I think we're in a pretty good position. What's going on down here? Do we have that gateway built yet in the door system or whatever it was? Oh yeah, we do. There's one in Ripagor. Okay. So,
research concluded.
Let's leave research alone for a little bit. Let's say you... Oh no, that's this mega structure. So where is this? It's right there. Diadem. How close is this? 81 days. Okay. So...
research concluded.
All these systems are like this. Go in here and change them all to deep space black sites. They got one there. That's good. Ripagor does not. It's got a defense grid supercomputer that it doesn't need. And so, in case you're wondering, the deep space black site offers you you can see 12% to your ruler skill, plus 10 to the patron arts. But the important thing is governing ethics attraction, plus 25%, stability 5%. And what that means is your pops are more likely to stick with your ethics than to shift to something else. So they're not going to shift to spiritualist if that's not what you want them to do. That kind of thing. And of course the leader gain then means, you know, this person up here who is not actually one of our species is pretty funny. You can see his skill level's 410, age 66. He'll get I can't click on him, can I? Gateway sites constructed. Anyway, his skills and things. Oh, right there. There you go. Skill level 4 of 10. His polytechnic education plus 25% is. And so because of his skill level, his edict duration is 20% and 12% for monthly immunity, but it also comes from, some of his bonuses come from that deep space black site, I believe. So this, now what we can do is diadem. Let's see, what we really should do is build this We should build a space station right there. But we can make everybody else go way over here to Nomad, because it'll go through the gateway. So if you do that, this is why I like to have a space station on the system that's in the gateway, because then I can just point everybody to that one and they can go straight through. But if you do this, this still works. So point these people up here, take this one and point him to the next one. And then who else is not connected? You're going through, you're going to there, you're going through that gateway. That works. All those guys are connected now. And there should be, let's see, all the trade is being collected. So what's our trade look like now? Massive number, almost 20,000. It's very, very nice seeing that huge number like that.
Construction project concluded.
So I like seeing that. That's huge. That's why you obviously can see why I'm such a huge fan of trade. We're producing a lot. I mean, we're producing almost 20,000 trade, and we're consuming 17,000 energy credits. So on trade alone, we're in the black. And then that doesn't even count everything else. You know, we have one megastructure that's contributing 3,400 energy credits just because we have the Dyson sphere. And all of our stations are contributing 748 total. You know, jobs are contributing 4,000. Those are your tech jobs. And that's also great, but you can see that it's no real comparison to trade. I mean, look at this. Our base energy credits are 17. Our megastructure is providing 3,400. That's the second biggest one compared to our jobs. Our jobs are providing 4,135. So all the energy technician jobs that we have on planets are producing only 4,000, and our trade is producing almost 20,000. It's producing almost 5 times that number. So if you're thinking, oh, I can get away with it with just the trade, if you turn this on and you're thinking, I can get away with just the energy credits in these space stations, with these mines, and with the technicians on my planet, forget it. You're not even coming close to helping yourself out. You're not doing anything of that kind. Trade is where it's at. You need to collect the trade. And if you do that, you end up with numbers like this. So this is the most perfect example. In fact, I have to take a screenshot of this because this is such a good example. I have to deal with this and make a post about this, because this is just so important to see how impactful trade is. Your technician jobs were accounting for just over 4,000. Your technicians with all of the systems that you own being mined was accounting for just 5,000. Throw in the megastructure and you got almost 9. And with trade, you got double that.
Construction project concluded.
So, folks, this is why I'm a huge proponent of doing trade if you're playing a species that can handle it. Now, not all species get trade. Determinate exterminators, things like that. They don't get to do trade. It's not for them. But for the rest of you biological pops, you should be doing trade. And you should be doing a lot of it. You absolutely should be doing trade and building gateways. Notice also how little piracy I've had to deal with the whole game. Almost none of it. Almost no piracy. A couple of times way over here in this system right here, in fact, over here, we had some trade because of the goofy way that, you know, the trade routes were. This is all blocked off over here and we didn't have a gateway yet. So a couple of times some pirates popped up. But our neighbors took care of them for us before we could even get over there. So you get gateways, which you get pretty early. And you get your gateways and you start getting them set up. And next thing you know, your whole entire trade network looks like this. It's a whole bunch of gateways just directly collecting trade straight to your homeworld. And look, they're all at 100%. They're all at 100%. I mean, you can't really beat that. you know? For cash flow, which then lets you... This is a sky temple. So think about that. With that kind of money, what you can do. Obviously, for our Federation, it meant being able to be in charge with that kind of money. If we ever fell short on anything in particular, like consumer goods, or we were buying alloys for a lot of the game. We were buying alloys because we had the money to do it. And then when you're dealing with the Senate, every single time one of these things pops up, focus on the Great Tempest. Oppose. Anytime one of these things pops up where it says diplomat, like right here, diplomatic weight from economy, 80%. Well, heck yeah, we're voting for that because we have the best economy in the game. Look at our economic strength. It's 90. Let's go through the numbers. 41 is the guys behind us, the Rongo Shipping Alliance, and they're a mega corporation. So we've got them beat by more than 2 times bigger than they are. 31,000 for the next guys. 33,000, 20,000, 11,000, 9,000, 4,000, and the Visaria at the bottom at 5,000. And we have... Our economic strength is 90,000. Folks, if that doesn't convince you of the power of trade and why you should be doing it, I really can't help you. Just can't. Oh, can't do it. So, Architectural Renaissance, those are the ones I want turned on for right now. Oh, and I got, what, 1 million? Unity? Just turn them all on. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so yep. So that's the power of all of that stuff. That's the power of trade and economic power, and really honestly, just like most 4X's games, First several times I played it, I had trouble with money, and I get on the Facebook forums and I get on the Steam forums, and I had noticed that so many other people were also having exactly the same problem. They're like, I can't get my economy going. Well, then I learned you need to get trade going. That is by far the biggest thing. You get trade going, and all your problems go away. Or they at least become manageable, you know. Then if you become short on food, well, you can handle it, you know. You can handle it. And that's what you want to be able to do, is handle your situations. And this is also why I'm such a strong advocate of make sure you put commercial zones on every planet, because you can see the jobs-based production. It produces all these clerk jobs that provide all this trade, and it just ends up ballooning on these systems. You can take a look at it when we turn this on. You know, we've got systems over here where we're earning 227 trade, 118 trade, 138 trade, 172 trade. You just can't get those kinds of numbers from cranking out the technician jobs. And then when we get over here to our ring world area, look at this. Look what our ring worlds are pulling in. 1938, 1730, 1448. I mean, those are really good numbers, right? Really good numbers. So here's ring section B, ring section C. We can do 3 at a time, so we're going to do those. We're going to come over here and we're going to habitate these. I needed to add an extra C up here. And I'm going to do some things to help these people out. They need precinct houses. They need holo theaters. Hey, come back here. And they need commercial zones. Come on. You dingbat. Game's getting a little wonky here. So you do these things and... Okay, let's see. Hab 6C. So ring... CC. Actually, that means that other one should have been renamed, shouldn't it? This should be ring AAA. I misnamed it when we did it. So it's ring 4A. Take that, Triple X. And cancel. We'll colonize this. And there we go. Get those colonized. Create more jobs, more wealth, more places for our people to live. Same thing here. Go down here, grab the precinct people, first of all. This is also a little great piece of music that totally reminds me of Star Trek. I'm just going to let my research linger for a while. I want to check these worlds out and make sure that they're getting what they need. We're at 2496, so we're 4 years away, and it can go really fast if I don't do any kind of pausing at all. Just let it roll on by. The research. Oh yeah, and so the resolution to relocate the Galactic market failed. Oh yeah, we should have done that.
Research concluded.
That's that should have been our gizmo. But here, this is what's interesting. Look at, it's producing 80 energy credits on this system, but look how much trade it's producing, 159. So even with 7 generator districts loaded up on this planet and an energy grid, which is soon going to be maxed out, it's still not touching the trade. You know, it's got a galactic market on it, trade value. This doesn't even have, and it's just got a bunch of clerk jobs from a city district. It doesn't even have a commercial zone on it, which I can really quickly change. You got to remember, commercial zones and city districts do the same thing. They provide clerk jobs, which provide trade. So, you know, anybody who thinks, oh yeah, I'm just going to use generator districts and the trade and the energy out there from the mines and the systems, you're shorting yourself so badly here. You're just shorting yourself, killing yourself. You're handicapping yourself for no reason. So, and that's why I actually have a lot of fun playing the mega bureaucracies, the mega corporations, because it kind of plays to one of the things that I think is really strong in the game, which is trade. So lost to bureaucracy, we can help them recover due to a major clerical error. even here we cannot escape the clerical errors. That's funny. And see, same thing with the habitat. Like, this little habitat by itself already is producing 54 trade. That's just awesome. That's fantastic. Oh my gosh. And so as long as you keep yourself in secondary resources and refinery resources, you can keep upgrading buildings, which means you can just keep producing more jobs, more trade jobs, and more money. And money, like in the real world, just makes a lot of things easier. It can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you a lot of things that are a lot easier. It can make a lot of things a lot easier. And that is always something to consider. Yeah, in fact, now seeing some of these worlds and doing a direct comparison between their trade and how much energy they're outputting, because like this is in a deficit now. It's some of these generator districts job are keeping this deficit from being bigger, obviously, but still, it makes me wonder if a person shouldn't just totally forget what it would be like in a game where you just totally forget generator districts and just do minerals and food and trade. I wonder what your empire would look like. Because look, from the jobs, it's 4,000 from our jobs. It's 4,300 from jobs. So if we take that 4,300 away and we turn it into minerals and food instead, and then if we need to, we sell excess food while we're going along, because what are you going to do with excess food anyways? You're just going to sell it. So if you have more food to sell, big deal. Yeah, you take a 30% loss in the conversion to an energy credit. You take a 30% loss whenever you sell anything. But it makes me wonder on some of these planets where you're putting a building slot for the 15% to add to the technology, to the technician jobs over here. I'm not sure it's worth it. I think it might be more worth it to just put another civilian fabricator down, for instance, and make sure that your people have their entertainment consoles. They've got their PlayStations and their big screen TVs. I think that might be a wiser course of action. I may have to test that theory out. I don't sit down and run the numbers like some people do. I know Aspect does that. He'll sit down and run the numbers and get the exact numbers so he knows exactly what something's value is. And I don't do that, and I probably should, but I play games for fun, and there's a limit to what I'm willing to do. This has all of these sky domes on it, and they're ridiculous. This is not a technology that's ours. These came with the Fallen Empire. And look, you can see they provide 20 housing and 20 amenities, and this planet isn't using nearly any of these. So we're going to replace some of these with like a Galactic stock exchange and a few other things. It's got tons of minerals on this planet. It's great. But we don't need all that extra housing. It's wasted. So my theory with my planets always is to try to get the housing and the jobs to match. And I feel like if I come close to that while maxing out the planet's capabilities, then I'm succeeding. Now that might be a little bit of a OCD thing too, but that's how I approach it. I don't like that it's doing that. Mouse. I'm trying to click on this. Mousey, mouse, mouse. So let's keep doing some of this. Civilian industries. We're almost there. 2797. The end game screen is coming. Folks, thanks for sticking with me this whole time. This has been... I can't tell you how much fun I've had doing this, because already I've gotten a lot of really good feedback from people, and just as I suspected, they're saying, you know, I just started playing this game. This is perfect timing. Well, part of that is whenever Paradox releases a new DLC or species pack or anything, it piques people's interest in the game, and they kind of flock to it a little bit. And so we always see new players around the time of a DLC release, and I thought it would be an ideal time to update it because people kept going. I continually, weekly, get people going to my old 2.2 tutorial and being like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this existed. Thanks for this Let's Play. It's great. You're talking about all this stuff. You're walking us through all this stuff, and I find it really helpful. But then they'll invariably have a question because something doesn't match their game because they have the most recent version of the game. And I just kept thinking, man, I have to get in here and do a new version of this game for people. And I was very happy to have a chance to do it here, to have some time to do it. And I've been very happy at the response. You've all been great. A lot of you have been watching this and following it the whole way and getting a lot out of it. So I know that it's helping, and that's what I really like. I like being able to help folks. So thank you so much for sticking with me this far. It's been great. And we'll consider future tutorials. Now I have to sit down and figure out what the heck I want to do next. I know, so Necroids is coming out. And by the time you watch this video, Necroids will have been out. So check my channel for the Necroids playthrough, because I'll be doing one. Their civics and ethics don't look like anything like what would be my playstyle strength, so I'm probably very much going to suck at playing Necroids. But we'll have fun doing it anyways. And after all, that's what all this stuff is about. This is really the perfect Stellaris track to end the game on. I hope we get through the next 2 years of the game to the end screen while this thing is playing, but I don't think it will. This has been a blast, though. I've had a blast. And that's the most important thing, is to have fun playing games and help people get better at them. That's why we do it. That's why I do it. I'm sure I've never spoken to Aspect. It would be fun to get on a podcast with him sometime and talk about Stellaris, but I'm sure that he does it also for the same reason, because he just wants to help people enjoy a game that he loves. I think when I started playing the game, it felt like I started to have control over it and a little bit of command over it. And I would go to the Steam forums and I'd see people asking the same questions all the time. And I kept thinking, I'd start to reply, and pretty soon I realized I was providing the same answers over and over. And I thought, man, there's got to be an easy way to do this where I can help more people all at once. And that was the sole genesis of this channel, was me trying to help Stellaris players. I just thought, I'll bet you I can explain things in a way that will help them. If I can simplify it, put it on video and simplify it and make it so that they can really understand it in an easy, digestible way, I'll bet you people would appreciate that. And sure enough, the feedback and the appreciation I've got from people for that has been so cool. It's been so neat to see so many people come in and say, thank you. This trade tutorial is amazing. I learned exactly what I needed to know from it, or the ships one, or the war one, or planetary management. It's been really cool. Really cool. And for the people who, and there are a few people who keep asking about some other games. So let me address that while we have like a minute or two left here. Yes, I would love to do something for Endless Space, because the tutorials, Endless Space 2, because the tutorials out there aren't great. But I'm in the process of learning that game, and that's going to take a little bit of time, because I don't like to speak from a position of not having the authority to do it. I don't like doing that. I want to feel like I'm knowledgeable before I try to pass that knowledge on to you. And it takes time to learn things. And that's the thing about a game like Stellaris. And it was a little bit of a gateway that kept me out of doing these videos for a long time, is even though I felt like I knew a lot about a game, you're always learning something with this game. I still learn stuff. I learned stuff myself. Doing this playthrough, I learned things. And that makes it hard for people like me who don't want to speak on a topic until they feel like they can do it from a position of authority. And here I am saying, well, I really want to teach people this game, but I don't know everything about the game. So how can I speak with any kind of authority about it? But in a game this deep, at some point in time, you just kind of have to jump in and say, okay, I think I know enough, and I can teach people what I know, and then don't speak about things that I don't know about. And you got to be okay saying, I don't know. As our expansion on Ring W has stabilized, certain individuals have begun to move away from our view of the world. Spread propaganda to oppose them. We don't want. So that's the spiritual ethics thing. And what you can do in that situation. So you saw that. That's Ring W. And I think that's over here. No, these are the 4 rings. Let's go over here. Maybe it's here. Ring DDD. Where is Ring W? Is it over here in Dimitri? Yeah. So what you can do in this is you can turn this on, upgrade this, and put a deep space black side on it, and that will help with some of the governing ethics attraction. And the other thing is to make sure you have this edict on, hearts and minds, governing ethics attraction plus 100%. And do things, scum and villainy on BBBBBBB. So we can, that's coming along. We can go over here, see this. Ring BBBBB, and that the reason they're having scum and villainy is because we don't have any precinct houses, we don't have any holo theaters to help make them happy, and we don't have any commercial zones. It's the year 249806. We're almost done. Let's do some of that for them, and that's Ring DDD is coming along. That's Ring BBB. Ring CCC needs to be colonized. So we'll colonize them. That's the most ring worlds I think I've ever built, and to have them all in one place is pretty incredible because the trade that's coming from them, that's being gathered and going through this Tiersonia. What's going? Tiersonia starbase is accounting for 6,000 trade on its own. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's so good. That is really cool. And how much of this are we generating? We're generating monthly gain 1,130 consumer goods now. That's awesome. This is the one thing I seem to always lag behind. It's just hard, and then later on here in the end of the game to be caught up on it and kind of be ahead on it actually by quite a bit. It's that's rewarding to be this late in the game and have everything really smooth. It's nice. A change of heart. Our attempts to change the minds of our people on Ring W have backfired horribly. By banding together over our subjugation attempts, they have gained even more followers, making them stronger than ever. Spiritual attraction modifier added for the following effects. 100% for 20 years, so Ring W is going to produce some spiritual people within our empire. And that's fine. Because it's the end of the game. I do want to, at some point in time, do some kind of inward perfection play. And I really want to try a spiritual one and see how that works. See if we can win the game. It was funny, there's a Reddit post out there, you can probably find it, where somebody's talking about how do you win with inward perfection? Because it's so hard, because you can't get your score high enough from all the other things like number of systems, number of colonies, number of pops, subject empires, etc., because you're this pacifist inward perfection civilization. And one of the worst answers in that thread is somebody saying, well, you make your own victory conditions. And it's like, Stellaris isn't about winning. And I hate answers like that, because you're not answering the person's question. You're answering the person's question from your perspective. And you're basically gaslighting them and telling them that the way that they want to play the game is invalid. And that kind of stuff just disgusts me. The person asked a legitimate question. They're concerned with the victory screen, and they want to know, in a particular civics and ethics and a start, how to win. So you should help them answer that question, how to win. You shouldn't say, well, you shouldn't want to win. It's Stellaris. You don't need to win. The victory screen doesn't mean anything. I just, so disgusting. So angry with answers like that. That's not answering the question. Help the person answer their question. Tell them how to do it. And there were some really cool answers further down in that thread, and one of them was you can engage as inward perfection in some wars. You can engage in liberation wars where you can take big factions like this and cause them to split up, making them smaller, which effectively drops their score below yours. And I thought that was a genius answer. And that was an appropriate answer. That was helping answer that person's question. And it was helpful for me, because I thought, when I do inward perfection, now I'll know this. I won't be stumbling around going, oh my God, how do I make this work? But that first person's answer, Stellaris isn't about winning. Don't worry about the endgame screen. You're not paying attention. The person does care about the endgame screen. So don't try to gaslight them on that. Don't try to diminish what they want. Terrible answer. Terrible, terrible, terrible answer. And that's just a terrible attitude and a terrible approach to going on a forum and trying to answer somebody's question. You're not contributing to the discussion, then. You're just basically being a jerk. And as my mom used to say when I was little, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. I think the internet rule needs to be, if you can't contribute to the discussion in a meaningful way and actually help answer the person's question, don't contribute to the thread. Go somewhere else. You should actually be playing Stellaris instead of being on the thread then, because you're just being a jerk. So don't do that. I've always felt like the best thing to do for new players and people with questions is to answer the question as thoroughly as you can, with as much information as you can, in the simplest terms that you can, so they can easily understand it. And that's what I try to do with my channel and my videos, and that's what I try to do on forums when I answer questions myself. I try to do my very best to make it so that you can be successful, so you can get the answers you want. So you won't see me coming in and saying, if you ask a question about, well, how do I do this? You won't see me saying, oh, don't worry about it. Disregard it. It's not important. You're playing the game wrong. Basically, that's what that answer is. That's what that jerk-off answer is telling people you're playing the game wrong. You should play it like me. No. People should be able to play it however they want to, and if the victory screen is important to them, then you should help them achieve that goal, and if you can't, don't answer. So that's my rant. For you new players coming here to my channel for the very first time, and you've stuck it all the way out to the end, and you've come here to the end of the last video, and maybe you're thinking about subscribing to my channel, know that I do a lot of Let's Plays, and periodically I will go off on rants about things like that. Things that I feel like are important, especially if it's something I feel can help make the gaming community better. Being a jerk on a forum doesn't make gaming communities better. And we should be doing everything we can to make our gaming communities better. As growing up as a kid in my era, gaming was stigmatized. If you were a gamer, you were a punk. I mean, you were like lazy. You know, it was like, you just waste all your time playing games. Why don't you get a job? Why don't you go paint the house? Why don't you do something else? You know, people didn't understand. And now games are getting more normalized. I think there's still some stigma attached to them, but it doesn't help when people in the gaming communities are jerks to each other. That doesn't help anybody. That doesn't help us build gaming into the force that we want it to be, the force for good. You know, what's the best thing to do in the world is getting somebody hooked on a game that you love, and then all of a sudden it turns out they love it too. That's a great feeling. To introduce somebody to something and then like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this existed. This is so cool. I love this game. Thank you for this. That's awesome. That's an absolutely wonderful feeling. And it's the exact opposite of feeling of some jerk coming into a comment section and gaslighting people and telling them they're playing the game wrong. So, be a force for good. That would be my advice to anybody, whether it's Stellaris or anything else, any other game. Be a force for good. And that's what we try to do here at Colors Fade Game. We try to be a force for good, especially for Stellaris players. We're trying to be a force for good and help you have a good time. Here comes the victory screen, 15 days away. It's the year 2499 in December of the 17th. And you're going to get to see it, and that'll be the end of the episode. Be the end of the whole series. This is the part we've been waiting for. Here it is. Nomad Hegemony won the game with a score of, wow, I think that's the biggest score I've ever had. 281,803. Jeez. Yeah, and we completely crushed our nearest competitor. So, and how close are we? How close are we to having them integrate? 7 months. That's cool. So, what a deal. Look at our economy. It was the thing that swamped everybody else, but then also our fleet power toward the end was really crushing, and our research was ahead of everybody. The Lorano shipping lines did have very good research the whole time. So that was pretty cool. And the coolest thing, I've never had this happen, everybody that was left was in our federation at the end of the game. Every faction was in our federation. So we brought peace to the galaxy, basically. We brought peace to the galaxy and we won. So thank you, new players, and thank you, old players, and thank you, Patreon supporters, for sticking out through this whole thing. Thank you so much. You all make it worth doing, especially your comments and your enthusiasm and your support. It all counts, and I cherish all of it. It makes it so worthwhile doing these videos, and that's why I enjoy doing it. So thanks for watching. I hope you new players especially just got a lot out of this series. I hope you got a lot. That's my most important thing, and I hope you're firing the game up and playing and winning, and if you're losing, I hope you're learning things from that too, and then firing it up again and winning the next time. Most of all, I just hope you have fun playing the Stellaris, because I've had tons of fun playing it for a lot of hours. So as always, I'm Colors Fade. If you dig the episode, give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, subscribe. If you have a question or comment, drop it down below. And if you want to support my channel at all, my Patreon is listed in the description below. Every little bit counts. Thanks for watching, folks. Catch me on the next episode. Necroids is coming up, and so is Inward Perfection. I'll see you all later.